I, in fact, did not press any key. So that's kind of creepy right away. Here we are again. Hello everyone! And welcome back, once again, to the Complex Expedition. And yes, this is the very same Complex Expedition that I played 2 years ago, and ever since then, I've been speaking back and forth with the developer periodically, and they've told me their intention to, develop this more and essentially turn this into something completely new. It's technically been in early access, even though I thought I had completed it then. And ever since then, I've been super curious to understand why this is an update to this game and not a full-fledged sequel, kind of like how this was a sequel to the free The Complex found footage. All I know is that I've always liked this developer's take on liminal spaces in the Backrooms because it very much emphasizes the spaces themselves, where so many things get bogged down in the survival aspects or the entities and the hiding. This is much more about the feeling of being lost, of trying to know something unknowable. That's why, much like the Cane Pixel series, this takes a more scientific slant to it as well, with us taking on the role of a researcher and documentarian going into the Backrooms with a group. But of course, as we know from last time, everything went wrong pretty quickly. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a reimagining of the same story, or if it's going to be a completely new one. I will point out that this is a different background from what we would normally see when starting a new game. I started it already, and turned it off when I realized I couldn't enable subtitles, which was kind of annoying, but we're just going to have to deal with it. I tried to see if there were other options. Recovered footage 2. 1988. So it's a little earlier than usual as well.
And we're rolling.
Alright, you ready?
I think so.
Alright, you know what mic's already in.
Yeah, I know.
Some way to move.
Yeah, it's kinda hard to understand. But I gotta give some credit to the voice acting here because, it really sounds like they told the actors to just talk, and that's something that is actually harder to do. It's why I actually have a lot of respect for the actors in found footage films, because it's actually more difficult than you'd think to act that normal, to where it doesn't sound like voice acting.
Okay. Testing 1 2 1 2. Mic check. This is Newman. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Look at that, it's like entering a bank vault. Straight through the shimmer. When we're all dressed up like this, even the humans look so inhuman. I'm sorry, I'm just taking our last look. Danger, restricted access, strong magnetic field, magnet is always on. Oh, let's step inside.
Take your time, huh?
Yeah. What's the rush anyway?
Well, the other guys have been waiting up there for about 30 minutes. We had to go.
Yeah, of course.
I think that guy got bored of waiting. He's moonwalking out of here. Oh, you're actually turning to see if I'm coming.
So I guess we're going to be recording everything from home.
Yeah, they've been very vocal about that. They would have the other group record them walking to room 1A and back.
I got no information as to why I'm recording, but Sal told me it was very important to keep the camera on and just not stop.
I don't understand why they're being so mysterious.
So there's things even our higher-ups aren't telling us. Look at that unexplored area. All cordoned off. God, this is so cool to me, is the aspect of trying to make sense of something like this. Because it's one thing to just sort of end up here. But it's another thing entirely, like I said, trying to know the unknowable. It almost feels like a corruption, like we're getting our filth all over this place. But even then, this is a wilderness that probably won't be so easily tamed. Property of Magwave Research Institute. The tape shows the way back, keep that in mind. Alright, thanks for waiting up. God, what are these sounds? I mean, looking down that dark hall, I can't help but think of the sounds of, like, I don't know, owls or birds or insects at night in a forest. I have to wonder what it is they're expecting to see on these cameras. What it was that prompted them to send us in with one in the first place if we weren't doing it before. I just love watching these guys walk. I mean, I think this is one of the few times in games where the faux VHS effect actually works.
So who's waiting at the controls?
Ed and Greg are waiting down there. Might be more, but I'm not completely sure.
I kind of doubt we're gonna need any more help, but I don't mind.
I guess it would be for maintenance if that's necessary.
Sure.
I wonder if it's actually possible to get lost along the way. I mean, this is the kind of place where you could take 2 wrong turns and suddenly have a really hard time finding your way back to the tape.
Where are you?
We're almost there.
I think it's really important for Little Yellow Hood to stay on the trail.
They also said that one of us might need to actually go through the little gap down there as well. So if any one of us needs to go, I would say Newman.
Why just me?
Well, because you have one of those cameras. They have lights on them too. You're good. But not even have to go down there anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Okay, David, Mike, and Newman. Hello, boys. Wait.
Yeah, we had some issues with the camcorder.
Not too much. Yeah, well, we got work to do.
Should be set up. Dan was helping me with it. Seems like he knows.
Oh, we've got a little robot buddy.
They should be all set up.
I've never actually controlled this thing before, so this is the first.
You'll get the hang of it. Okay, you should have control now.
Switching perspectives, I like this. That's cool, it's actually acknowledging the camera in a cool way, where anything we're not actively recording for just won't be picked up. Basically, it acknowledges that the camera is not our eyes, which is something that so few found footage games actually take into account. And as I was saying a second ago, it is actually... it's doing faux VHS right. It's clearing the first hurdle by not just having faux PS1 and saying that that's faux VHS, but it does the same thing that the Kane Pixel series does, even though these aren't connected. And doing that sort of downgrade to upgrade thing. The kind of thing where, in those imperfections, you kind of also lose the little details that make it clear that you're looking at a video game and not real life. But, okay, enough about that. We've got a crawl space to explore. It's cool to see, like, actual sensible people sending this thing in, too. Like, instead of just crawling in like so many other protagonists would do, or at least trying the drone route. I mean, I always think that horror stories are scarier when you have a group of smart people doing smart things, and it's not enough. Well, we can see that there are rooms beyond, but it's at least not low and dark for too long. There are light sources on the other side. This is interesting. Although, I do wonder how far a signal like this will carry. I mean, one thing to test would be just how much these walls actually block that sort of thing. Thing is, we've also got a light of our own. This is very, very high tech for 1988, too. I mean, a camera-mounted drone that's, I guess, streaming live back to a mobile laptop? Unless there is some kind of tether that I didn't see. What? That is so cool. This is what I mean. Because I just barely saw that. If you were looking through a visor, staring through that screen, it's all grainy and distorted, you'd probably just see it as more distortion, but I know what I saw. Well, actually, no, I don't. I saw a shadow. A shadow which is now gone. Ah, this is the subtlety I crave. I think we just lost the feed.
Wait, what? It's supposed to reach way further.
You know, I'll just go get it. I remember the way, so. You sure?
Oh no.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's not that far. I'll just go get it, bring it back. No big deal.
Trying to make that crawl in this suit. Oh, not even bringing up. Okay, there we go. We've got a flashlight, but. I'm taking a last look back. Oh, this feels like the kind of thing that should violate protocol. Like, how is the buddy system not a strictly maintained code here? But it makes sense. Like, it's the kind of thing that we saw that they probably won't discover until later. They'll be poring over the footage, trying to figure out what could have happened to me. And I just imagine the one person in the room shouting, "Whoa, wait, stop, back it up. What was that in the corner?"
How's it going down there?
It's going fine. I'm just trying to remember where I went.
Can't understand you, bud.
It feels kind of weird being in this part. I mean, it's just, no one's ever been here before. It's kind of odd.
I understand. Just keep it cool.
You said you'll be here in a minute? Is that real, or am I still just going for this drone myself? Because I'd really like that to be real. Doesn't seem like that's real. That is interesting, though. Just as I was going prone, it actually does feel like you're climbing down to your knees. Doesn't seem like we can really run at all, but yeah, it's definitely emphasizing the physicality of this, making sure we actually feel how this protagonist would feel. And that is that we are not as mobile as we would like to be. There's the corner where we saw it.
Okay, I'm here. Wait, the rover, it's gone. It's not here.
Wait, what? Are you sure you're in the right place?
Yeah, it's the right place, but it's definitely not here.
That makes some sense.
Hold on, I'm gonna go a little bit further.
Yeah, just come come back. We'll figure it out.
No, I can find it, but I mean, it has to be here. There's no way it could just disappear.
Alright, just be quick.
I feel like I should get an achievement for walking all the way back there, but unfortunately I do have limited time. Alright. Let's do the thing that everybody should be screaming at us not to do. I know I am. I will say this little wobble as we walk, while potentially realistic, is a little bit nauseating. And actually, let me just check real quick to see if there's an option for it. Yeah, there doesn't really seem to be. Okay, I mean, putting up the frame limit might help a little bit. So I wonder, are these suits just a precaution? Or do we actually know something about the air here? I mean, it makes sense that we wouldn't want to bring back any contaminants whatsoever. So even if it's not for our protection, it could just be to avoid contaminating our own world with stuff from here. Now that's something we've not seen yet. Boxes, chairs, in a place we haven't been.
What the hell?
Is there wind blowing through this gap? Like actual moving air.
Greg, do you feel that? I think there's an earthquake going on.
What? I don't feel anything.
Everything's shaking, man. You can't feel that?
Just hurry back.
You'll call me back? Is something going on your end? I think I just took a dive.
Guys. Guys, can you hear me? Does anyone copy? Please. Hello? How the fuck did that even happen?
I feel your franticness. We didn't even fall down. I was thinking we were going to take a tumble through that window, but we can actually start to run now, and I can feel how panicked you are when you do. But alright, let's pace ourselves. Let's take it a little slower. It's almost like it saw an opportunity in us being split up. And we're now so far away that we have no contact whatsoever. See, it's one thing to end up here, like in many backroom stories, but to be part of a science team and have something of a grasp of how hopeless this is, but you still have to cling to some kind of hope. I mean, right now we're still very much in, okay, if I just look around, I've got to find the exit, but, well, that's far from a guarantee. I can hear the lights blinking and struggling. Oh my. See, this is something really interesting. I don't know if I've really seen stuff like this before, with like imperfections in the back rooms. Was that earthquake an intentional response to what we were doing? Or is it some kind of natural, like, geological or weather phenomenon that happens here? It seemed like there was air starting to move rapidly through that space, but was it part of it, or was it something different? Well, if nothing else, our footage will be valuable. Nothing we can do but see where we end up, though. Do we still have our light, at least? I'm just trusting you to turn it on when it's needed. That's a dead end. We may not have any such assurance in real life, but I have to trust in the game dev to make it so that if we just wander around enough, we'll find our way eventually. It's kind of like being in the courtyard of some kind of conference center. Or an office building. That's the thing about these liminal spaces, especially the back rooms. It's a lot of places where you're pretty sure you've seen something like it, and dreamed something even more like it. What is this? Fire exit. It points the way to a fire exit that doesn't exist, and the sign itself is not quite right. Instead of being entirely illuminated or with a rectangle around it, it's just one big red button. These features on the wall, they look almost like different attempts at picture frames, but with nothing in them, except some of them have a gray backing. Okay, we're getting into more Grandma's house at night settings here. A space totally empty except for a single complex device, with the power cable draped over the front. Over here, there are American-style wall outlets. I think the plug might actually have been something different, though. It's not one of ours. That is really interesting to note. We could go upward, or we could keep exploring this floor. I am so sorry about this shaking. I would probably turn it off if I could. I mean, this game is definitely very committed to the experience and being immersive, and it succeeds, but it's a bit extreme. Not everything is totally symmetrical. We've got what amounts to garbage on the floor, so it's the question I have always got to ask in the Backrooms. Is that something that was generated by the Backrooms, or is it something that was brought here? You hear that? Coming through the speakers. Occasionally there's a beep. At different times it sounds like either a distorted voice or even music. Hang on, I'm also going to disable cursor capture. Alright, that should be better. Is that... Oh, I thought that was a window. I think that's actually a flat screen. Or at least something resembling one. I'm also hearing a beeping. It sounds almost like a smoke detector with the batteries dying. I've stared in fear at this sight many a time. A darkened glass sliding door looking onto a backyard. It's in a moment like this I expect to see a blurry silhouette move behind me. Something tells me that sink wouldn't actually produce water if I were to turn the faucet. God, look at this. It's like walking through a furniture showroom. I heard it. There it is. There's the smoke detector. Behaving as if its batteries have long ago run out. This looks much more like an actual suburban home. Look at that. A pink room and a themed children's bunk bed. In a room that's entirely windowless. There's something out there. It sounds very much like there's something in the dark, but I don't know what it would be. Look at this, a whole bunch of power strips. All plugged into each other and still producing light. That is so weird. Dude, that is such a cool idea that I had not even considered. The electricity in here doesn't require a power source. It just is if it's supposed to be there. And anywhere I turn, anywhere I look, it reminds me of old photos taken at night with the flash of a vacant house, like in the 90s or early 2000s. Seems like that's a philosophy that's been brought into this. Imagine at least trying this. You are a scientist. Headphones, a Coke can. Like I'm slipping through a secret door in the back of a closet. Can we climb up here? Thank you. Ooh, you'll even do it automatically. Alright, try and keep to the tighter places. I don't know why. I always just get the feeling when I do this that if I follow certain rules, it'll get me where I'm going, and there's no reason to believe that that's the truth. But in situations like this, you just go into overdrive trying to see patterns that maybe aren't there. Thankfully, no snake rising out of this basket. I remember you.
Who the fuck are you?
Also, I gotta heap more praise onto the realism department. I like you actually reacting to this. And not just with words, I can hear it in the tremble in your breath. Now, here's something really interesting. This is something that you guys pointed out last time I played this, and I feel like I should take a moment to talk about it now. These suits are based on something in real life. In fact, they're based on infamous footage that was found on the internet of what seemed to be a man, like, in a room, being, like, force-fed soup, just choking down this bowl of soup, and clearly in distress, while two people wearing costumes that looked just like this stood behind them and kind of patted him on the back and seemingly comforted him. It's really creepy. Nobody really knows the origin, and the closest anyone's been able to get is that they're pretty sure those suits went missing from the backstage of some kind of Korean concert. Well, you know what they say, sometimes things that go missing end up here. The audience on stage and in the dark. Somehow walking against them makes it feel like I'm doing something really wrong. A social faux pas that will not go unnoticed. You stay there now. I'm half tempted to try pulling the fire alarm. I pushed nothing. You opened for me. Look at this. Any individual angle makes it feel like just an ad from a real estate book or something, back when they used to have those. I'm kind of dating myself there. Or maybe they still do. Point is, you have to really think for a second to figure out why this is so unnerving. Some things are obvious. The large space with not much in it, the shadowy balcony that seemingly goes to nowhere. That doorway that you can't imagine having anything around the corner, and yet it must. But I feel like it takes longer to notice the lack of windows, the elongated shape of the room, and of course if you were to turn around, you would never think there'd be a pair of elevators here.
An elevator. Come on.
Here we go.
What is this place?
Swimming pool closed, a wet floor sign, so there is at least a loose association with what ends up where. Still, how much do you trust an elevator that opens for you and goes somewhere without your input? To me, that speaks to intention. Well, I hope this suit is waterproof. It feels so inviting, the cool lighting contrasting with what is definitely warm and humid air. It's just like crawling into a hotel pool at night. VIP only. I like to think myself pretty VIP-portant. Unfortunately, you apparently have to be Krill to be that high of status. I keep hearing these squeaking noises. And this rumble. And the funny thing is, we are the perspective of the footage, not even necessarily the person. So even the audio is distorted, more so than the footage itself. Or rather, I should say the video. Well, that looks promising like daylight. It's more comfort than we've gotten anywhere else, so I can't wait to have my hopes dashed against that. We can't even do our pathetic run here when we're knee-deep in water. Look at that, it's like it tried to create a facsimile of a balcony. Only did it on 2 out of 3 floors, and even then couldn't be bothered to have anything behind them. What is this? An actual artist impression of Earth creatures. Huh, so this is where the krill go. And once more, it's really worth asking the question, is this a recreation of something that exists in the real world? Is it actually something that was in the real world and has been brought here? Or is it an imitation? And if so, where does it get its material from? Okay, we cannot crawl through here. Or perhaps we can. Okay, it seems like this is as far as it's gonna let me go. On second thought, let's not go to the dark place. It's a silly place. I swear I didn't intend the Alan Wake reference there. Between the rumble and the droning, and the sounds of my own lazy splashing, I keep feeling like something big is going to come crawling around the corner. Something I should have heard much earlier than I did. It almost feels like heaven until you realize the light isn't real. Just one wooden chair left in the corner. I'm going to try and use the zoom as little as possible because it's very slow and it's very out of focus while you're moving. What are these features over here? They look like flower pots, but nothing growing in them. I don't want to meet the Chernobyl plants that can survive off of chlorinated water. Although I believe I've asked before, and you guys say that chlorinated water can work in a pinch. It's not something you'd want to use to sustain plants. I really feel like if you were to be part of this science team and end up trapped and alone in a situation like this, you'd really have to start wondering if your brain is functioning at 100%. Like, was any of this real? Was everything from the time I took the job and heard about all of this? Was it all hallucination? A fever dream? A dying dream? Especially when you start to hear the horns that I would imagine would be what welcomes you into the afterlife. This game may not look so different from other liminal spaces I've explored. It may be doing some cool tricks that I've seen applied in other places or not necessarily in tandem. This right here, this is a kind of otherworldly ambiance and atmosphere that I find so hard to put to words. Something that feels almost religious. I don't know what other word to use to describe it other than haunting. And in just another moment, it's gone. No smoking. How about no drowning? I wouldn't use that diving board. This water doesn't feel nearly deep enough for that. Also, I'm in a giant, heavy enclosed suit. Also, this is not time for fun, although if we were to go the Cane Pixels route, this is infinite storage. I mean, you could totally open up a resort in here if you could reliably access it. I don't know, I'm thinking like a capitalist now. I suppose I sort of do in the course of running this channel, but nothing to this scale, nothing to that level of exploitation. Things are getting darker. See, now it's starting to feel like we're here after hours, like we're trespassing in the rec center. And I don't know what it is about being near water that makes trespassing feel like so much more of a crime. I don't know, maybe it's residual guilt from that time I broke into Gatorland. Let's hope the elevator takes us somewhere worthwhile. Who am I kidding? It's not like I have anywhere else to be. We've reached the hotel. And there's more elevators. Doors open a crack. Unfortunately, we have no way of knowing if there actually is an elevator meant to be in there, or if this whole thing, like so many other things, is just for show, a manifestation of this place. If I were to hold a lighter to those sprinklers, would they come on? That smoke detector isn't beeping, never mind. It's like you were waiting for me to approach. Look, there is actually trash in the bin. I mean, look, everything here requires closer examination, and I am just the person to do that, but not now. Look, is there mold growing on the walls here, or does it just look like mold? Too afraid to check. Okay, guess you're not going to turn on your light for this. Maybe it's your way of subtly defying me. You're not interested in curiosity right now. Oh my god. It's a little jump scare every few seconds. I'm so glad I'm not here to hear it fully and we're only getting it through the VHS vision. Look at that. For a moment, I actually believed it would be a skylight. A parking sign. Placed all by itself in the middle of what looks like a hotel reception area. And mall music playing from above. So there are coherent, human-produced sounds playing in here as well. Please be patient. Doctor is treating another patient like you. Wait for your turn. You will also be provided with the same careful attention at the earliest. From a hotel into a dentist's office. See, this TV. We have to question, is it really producing static because it can't find a signal? Or is that just what appears on the screen because that's something that was taken from our world? Could we plug something in via these AV inputs? I don't know. Wait, a magazine. Fortean or Fortune Lives. Desert Storm? Desert Storm, this is 1988. Oh god, does this have the ability to predict the future? I'm sure the phrase Desert Storm existed before this, but you know. Look at that, it's like almost recursive. But it's not a mirror, it's windows. Down and down in a line forever, like screwing up in Photoshop. Every little thing can be taken as maybe some hint as to what this place is or how it works. Based on the tape that was on the ground, the areas that were sealed off, I'm guessing we were not very far into exploring this at all. Attention. Please be aware of hotel rules if staying with children. For more information, contact any member of our staff and we'll gladly help. I think the worst thing I could hear right now is a child's giggle. Little steps stomping around corners that are never there when I turn them. Is it possible for the Backrooms to be haunted? I don't know, but I don't trust that mysterious hatch in the wall. Now this is new. That end table is way too high. It sort of reminds me of that Arthur Baring story, A Signal to Noise. I highly recommend that one, by the way. I have a reading of it on the channel. There's a coffee cart, a room service cart just in the middle of the hall. We're gonna have to squeeze by it. I don't know why that feels so threatening. I don't think we've ever seen our path be this obstructed before. But look, this one is actually plugged into the wall. Did it generate that way along with the environment? Or did somebody plug it in? Is it possible that others have been here before us? Look. There's even a post-it note on the side. Wait, 3 points, Canada value. We can't even try to open any of these. Or actually, wait, we can. Like the musty smell is getting to you. I don't like the image of my own reflection in the doorway. I can't help but feel like I'm intruding.
Damn it.
Locked. Some of these do have a little more than you would expect to them. Look at that, it's these plastic crappy blinds, but they're imperfect. What is the likelihood that anyone's been here before me? I mean, to actually stay in here long enough to mess with those things, I don't think much. And what is beyond the darkness outside the windows? Man, you've got a light. Why would you not use it right now? My god. My shadow. It's my shadow. Okay, let's go. You know what? Let's just leave as soon as possible. This is one of those things where I try to calmly walk out and probably realize halfway through, oh, nope, my legs are running. Guess this is what we're doing. I can't help it. The brick wall is kind of strange, but this is another one of those times where I feel like I'm looking at it and thinking, last chance. Because when are we ever going to find something this comfortable again? The opportunity may never come. But we've got to keep moving. I feel like survival in the Backrooms, when you get separated in this way, means the exact opposite of what it normally means. In other words, stay put is a death sentence. I maneuver my way into the dark, but there's nothing here. Alright, let's try
Locked.
any unopened door again. Locked. Okay, maybe I do just need to go down that hall. Or maybe this will open this time. Oh, never mind. This is a different one. Okay, let's ignore the darkness and rush headlong in. Nope, this is... I'm completely lost. There we go. Alright. I was trying to navigate by contrast and I just wasn't seeing it. That was a scary few seconds. Yeah, I'm just gonna check the controls to make sure that there's really no flashlight. Oh, spacebar for camera light. Okay. There we go. Glad we looked that up. It's been completely smashed. I found the motel pool. Looks pretty inviting, I'm not gonna lie. Look at that, you even have to lean over to maneuver your arm to hit that switch. It's like being some kind of techno T-Rex.
Hey! Hey! Does anyone copy? I need help. Hello? Please. No.
I don't understand what that means. Were we receiving some kind of signal for just a moment? Signal or no, I'm definitely hearing something. It's a gallery of nothing. So does this mean that we're close enough that we, just for a moment, were able to get some connection to the others? Or does it mean that some signal came from within? Why am I so eagerly rushing towards these noises? I can't even see beyond this. It's like a wall of dark. And you know what? Let's get away from it. Let's just get away from it. I keep thinking I see things in the noise. What the heck? It's like a hotel ballroom or stage. I feel like I'm late to the show and everyone's turning to look at me. I almost can't describe how unsettled I am by this room, especially now that I've come in and the noises have seemingly stopped. Portraits. All the frames we've seen have been empty so far, and yet this is here. I'm not familiar with it, but I wonder if it's tied to a real world painting. imagine these probably are, right? Of course, there's nothing on the plaques beside them. From here down into the subway. I'm just moving along to see if there's any I recognize, but so far I don't. This one is simply labeled The Artist. Meta. Actually, it's several layers of meta. Anything in this corner, or is this just for a silent watcher in the dark? I practically feel like the devil himself could be watching from that corner. Alright, let's not take up any more time here than we need to then. I was running, and I don't know if it was just LOD, but I swear I saw something move around that corner. Could have just been that ball. Could have just been the light. Employees only. Well, fake it till you make it, I always say. Hello?
What? The fuck?
I'm gonna start going this way. Probably moonwalking. You know what? Maybe that other guy had a similar experience. It stopped my movement. For a second I was really afraid to turn around, but I just bumped into one of the lights. It is a subway. Watch your step. Okay, I need to examine the signs to find out if they should be here. That just says train station, watch your step. Okay. So long as you don't try and follow me, I'll take any means of escape. Hopefully, this does us the same way as the elevator. Transit map. Cross South Beach, West End, Franco, Market, Mill, Kingsway. 124. You could probably determine a location that way. This must be pulled from somewhere real world, right? I can see the walls to the side, but there's nothing out the front. Look at that, there's garbage debris on the floor. Discarded coffee cups and newspaper and chip bags. Even a Metro card. Wonder if it's still good. The food court, it's all tagged up. It's like from a dead mall or something. The shutters are down over there, although there's nothing but wall beyond the bars. At least I think that's what they are. Elevator equipment room. If we can find an elevator, that's something, right? This is so weird. It's a hole-in-the-wall subway food court consisting of one restaurant with an empty dining area in the front and a full, almost restaurant-style dining area in the back. With way more lights on the ceiling than it's using. Look at that, a ramped floor. find out if there's people living under the stairs. Nope, not much. I don't know why this figures so much into liminal imagery, but it's something I've always had as an association, even since I was a kid. I've always had a love and been severely creeped out by changing elevation within the space of one floor. Little half flights like this, that's the kind of thing that weirds me out. Or open sections of stair that go onto completely closed sections. By the way, it seems like we're back in the demo homes again. You hear that?
Now, in that sense then, let's just conclude here and then we'll take a little break. The book of Revelation, instead of one great chronological event, one after another, is actually a series of spotlights on the last days. John sees, for example, the four beasts and the elders. He sees the book, and that gives you orientation. He's seen the new heaven and the new earth. And then in Revelation chapter 6, he sees an overview. He sees the four beasts. He sees the wailings of the martyrs. And then he sees the second coming ordained under the sixth seal, but fulfilled in the seventh. It's like the creation. Man was ordained to be placed on earth on the sixth day. He was placed on earth in actual fact on the seventh day. Go read, for
It's
example,
playing a
the book of
sermon,
Abraham
and I can't tell
and the book of
if,
Moses.
again, this
Book
speaks
of
to
Abraham and
intention
the book
or
of
if it
Esther,
truly is just something
makes
pulled
it
randomly.
very, very clear that they came down to place man on earth, and then the sixth
But
day
it
terminates,
certainly,
and the seventh day
it certainly doesn't help with the idea that this is some kind of dying dream.
And it's fulfilled in the seventh. Similarly, then you have the same kind of a situation. The second coming is ordained.
There it goes. An atom bomb test. I'm not going to sit around here and watch for too long, but it definitely seems to be choosing things of significance. I've heard that in its purest form, a liminal space is literally a transitional space. Something that feels like it's moving from one state to another, be that one room to the next, or even, I don't know, one idea to the next, but I'm now thinking of it as a transition from states of life, states of being. Hey, it's another washer. Oh no, we're getting skinnamarink in here. Can't climb into these upside down rooms. Okay, let's keep it moving. Oh no, I've just completely turned around. Sorry, we're gonna have to put up with this for a little bit. Garage doors, you got your Subway in my suburban house. It's like a Reese's Pieces, only way more existential. Okay, and a jar door, I'll take your bait. Locked. Perhaps we can get around it. See, in a game as expansive as this, we're not going to see everything. But that's part of the idea. If we were to go to every corner, it wouldn't probably seem as much like, well, as impossible to navigate as it is. What is this? I just got a really uncomfortable feeling of being small. And it happened all at once. It's almost set up as if it were like a field hospital. But with these tiles, with these walls, it feels like something out of the First World War or something. Like something that was put up in a hurry 100 years ago. Utilizing whatever old space they could. Meanwhile, these giant, heavy curtains block our way. Oh, it is completely pitch dark back here. I'm so glad I decided to check the controls when I did.
Oh, God. Fuck it. Let's go.
That could have gone better. Well, on we go then. What is that sound? Is it coming from a speaker up there? Wait, where did we come from for that matter? There's just little slots like attic doors that deposit us down here. Maybe it's a good thing we're wearing this suit. I hope there's cushioning inside. Then again, I guess I shouldn't be making fun of your dexterity. These archways are so tall, but they don't look like it from far away. Something about it looking like some kind of event hall or home. I don't know, it's just things that are huge from across the room. They don't seem that way until you get to them. It's like something about the association with what this is won't let me perceive the actual scale. Oh, great. More crawling, like this was hiding behind the couch. Well, I appreciate you trying to make me feel at home, in a way that I haven't since the glowing light of the pool rooms. What is this? It's a mall. Hey, you're a scientist, aren't you? Maybe you could take some parts from a radio or a TV, try and motorize these shopping carts? I mean, it has to be more dexterous than your own legs in this suit, huh? I really love the sound design in this. Like, the fact that even the sounds are put through that VHS filter is, I think, one of the most underrated parts of this experience. That very muted echo of our feet walking on these tiles. The way even the little crinkles and crunches of our suit get translated into rumbles because we're pressed right up against the camera. Being able to hear our breathing the entire time. And it takes advantage of that to have a lot of more, like, subtle reactions. Our character doesn't verbally respond to everything, but you can always hear that they have noticed. Absolute cinema. Was that you sniffling or gasping, or were you snickering at the joke just like I was? I wonder if that camera's ever seen anything, ever recorded something. Clothing and accessories, swimwear, and jewelry. I saw nothing of the sort down there. Store closing, everything must go. God, this reminds me so much of exploring that Kmart in Bridgehampton. I believe it was the last full-size store to go. But it was absolutely covered in these signs, and the deals weren't even that good. I think they're at Target now, and honestly, it's an improvement. Well, here we are. All we need now is to hear the squeak of some wheels rolling around the corner. Oh God, don't remind me. Hey, I knew if we went far enough down we wouldn't have to crouch. It's lazy old me trying to save myself a few seconds. Wow, this goes way back. I'm sorry. I know it's impossible to look at. Is my light even on? It is, and you really notice it when it's gone. It's like it's under construction. Those beams giving just enough foreground to get a sense of depth to the darkness. I swear I almost feel a sense of vertigo at times, looking at these vast spaces in front of me. Like the VHS look makes it impossible to grasp that scale until you start moving and you see the parallax. Flowers of the rainbow. Oh, flavors of the rainbow. I wonder if any of these are real advertisements that have existed. Media, play, library, furniture. All of this feels so specifically familiar. And I'm not quite sure why. Oh, look at that. Any individual frame of this game could be screenshotted and used as a thumbnail, couldn't it? We can actually explore a lot of these things. I think maybe I've just been having pretty good luck with finding my way out. Something I was actually going to bring up before is how this actually feels like, in a lot of ways, more linear than it used to. But I don't really know if that's the case. I don't know if maybe I have just been getting lucky. Or maybe this is the point where things really start to open up. Okay, I don't feel safe in here. But also, when it comes to entities, this is showing far more restraint than you would expect. Because either a lot of Backrooms media will either do entities in a very jarring and front and center way, or they just won't do them at all. This is one of the few things I've seen that does entities, but still keeps the spaces themselves at the front and center of the horror, where the entities feel more like a part of the place, rather than something that dwells within it. I mean, I've been recording for well over an hour now. All we have as far as entities go is that shape moving around the corner that our character didn't even see, and maybe that suit moving once off screen. I don't feel like I should be here. You know, I find moments like this get a lot creepier when I almost take a step back, view it in the third person, and imagine that I'm just over my computer watching this found footage. It makes all the little pans over the place seem so much more foreboding. Alright, I could definitely use the restroom now. Does such a thing actually exist back here? Of course not. Look at this, it goes into a store that's like slanting downward. It's like it's constantly weaving back and forth between the all too familiar and more like something you've seen in a dream. The pharmacy, unfortunately, there's no easily swipeable, easily sellable pills on the racks. A lawyer ad. We will defend your rights. Does one have rights in the back rooms? Are you hearing that? It's a banging that sounds weirdly organic. And it's the kind of thing that seems to be increasing in frequency. I'm wondering if I should maybe pick up the pace. Look at this, a little play area just built into the hallway and partially disassembled. I wonder if this is based on a real-life mall at all. I mean, the layout makes very little sense if it is. Everything comics and video games. I should be paying attention to see if any of this stuff is anachronistic. If some of it maybe doesn't belong in 1988. Furniture from around the globe. Under video surveillance, it claims. I don't see how or where. Staff only? Once more, I'm trying to become staff. It's just a separate next-door store. You say staff only, but whose staff? Look at that. The floor even changes where the wall does. This leads into a parking garage, a very dark parking garage. For as creepy as this was, walking through here and no one around with the music playing above me, I can't help but feel like I'm safer here, if only for the light. Alright, let's do this. Okay, thankfully it doesn't seem to be as big as I was thinking. I am a little off-put by how quickly that music faded away behind me. Trapped like a rat. You can't tell me that's not intention. I'm really taking my progress on faith here. I can't even see anything anymore. This light is useless. It's like that Ethan Winters self-carried ambient light. There's something up ahead. Am I just heading right back into the mall? Or something like it. There we are. Thankfully, it was but a momentary distraction. Fortunately, it was but a momentary distraction. Wait, have I just come full circle? I've just come full circle. Well, you know what? I actually appreciate that. I was actually kind of sad for a second that I had gone so far and maybe missed some things. So we can run out of breath at a certain point, and something some of you guys have pointed out in other games, in a situation like this, when you're all alone and it's relatively silent, I don't know, there's something in us that makes our own footsteps make us want to run even harder, makes us feel pursued. Nothing's gonna deter me from free ice cream. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like this place came prepared. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Some of you guys are amused by the fact that I don't curse in videos, and you ask if, you know, I do off camera. And the answer is no, I don't. But I think it a lot. Oh no, you have no idea how funny my inner commentary is. That sounds like talking. Oh no, it's music. It's crazy how different something can sound before it resolves. It's just vague noises, really, not even music. But it's really, really distressing. Like, it's several different awful noises at once. Okay, wait, but if the way forward isn't here, then where is it? Because I've already been all up and around. Well, look, we could go through here. Strange thing to have in the middle of the walkway. And I can hear that cacophony from below us. I'm not even going to bother chasing that down because I know there's not going to be anything there, but I definitely saw it. And your eyes would have seen more than what the camera did. But But I have to go back. No, 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 I don't. Through here. Oh, hey, we found the bathroom. Somebody go get Ina. No stall doors. But I guess at this point it hardly matters, right? It's nowhere to go. It's not helped us one bit. So I guess we are heading back then. Alright, let's just do it. What have you left for me? What is that? It's the exit sign. Somebody's playing with me. Where is it you want me to go? Okay, well, let's try and get off the main boulevard. Of course. God, it almost feels like I'm being invited on a date. A really creepy date that I never agreed to. Wait, there's an opening down there. Let's see, we found the parking meter room. Honestly, liminal spaces feel to me like if you let AI generation run wild and create something real. Things that look very much like something you've really seen, but it doesn't actually know what it is, doesn't actually know how ideas connect. I don't know if this was open before, but I'm checking it out now. The elevator. Thank you very much. Oh, that one was a wild ride. So that thing that I saw, is that what closed the gate behind me in the parking garage? I can't help but think, and it's the idea I've had in my head this entire time, that somebody thought they saw an entity, and that's what they were hoping to capture by sending me in with a camera. They told me to never stop recording. Oh no. It's a dark basement, a children's, I guess, early education room. And the sounds of voices echoing down the hallway. Sounds almost ceremonial. This reminds me of the daycare in the basement of my mom's work when I was really small. I mean, they had it done up like this, but there was no hiding the fact that it was the basement of an industrial building. You know what? I'm fine with not going in there. Let's just turn on our anti-child gear. Oh god, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. Have you ever been in a child's school? Tried to sit in one of the chairs? It'll make you feel real old. Of course, no windows here either. signs are backwards. See, we made our way to the school hallway after hours. God, this is one of those ones that's so familiar and relatable to me that I can't help but have a strike a nerve. It's the same thing from before. It was the same one. This looks like an intentional barricade. Okay, what happens if we go the other way? Wide open area, and I don't like that. But it's not a way forward. Okay, this isn't the same one we were already in. What is this? A dark forest. It's actually kind of pretty, but given the circumstances, I don't really have a lot of time to stop and admire it. Is that the sound of the projector flipping? No, it's coming from over here.
Hey. What the fuck is... Hello? Is there anyone there?
From a daycare to a rundown, derelict slum. And amid all that, we're hearing ourselves on the radio now? We've never seen anything like that before. Just opening and closing of its own accord. This is the closest thing we've seen to a haunting down here. And all we can do is document. It's weird, like in any other horror game, I wouldn't think twice about that, but because it's here, it somehow manages to raise so many questions. There are infinite implications just in that one visual. It's like a garbage chute. Look at that. We can see where a chair got caught in the wire. Barbed wire. See red lights on the top. I wonder what would be up there, where this stuff comes from. It looks like it's pushed in from various points along the tube, but what about all the way at the top? By the way, there's some panels, but I don't think there's anything we can do here. You introduce these things as garbage chutes, but just having the barbed wire strung across it makes it feel so hostile. When you're walking towards a light at the end of a dark hallway, that's when something feels the farthest away. Oddly enough, it feels most like something's gonna grab the back of your neck when you're right against it.
Oh my god.
It's a false suburbs. Imagine this being real life. Ending up here, no idea what this is, how you're getting back. And just looking at this impossible image in front of you and thinking, I think maybe I've seen a picture like this once? Or was I there? Maybe a dream? Maybe I could live here now? Wait, those are keys. Sorry, by the way, sometimes when I press F, it likes to open another tab. Probably have cut that out. But it's making no effort to hide it. We can look up and see the warehouse that all this is contained within. There's a door through there. I mean, I should check these other houses, though. The ones we can enter, anyway. Not all of them have a table. Not all of them even have an entrance. I mean, they do. But they're just pushed straight up against the wall. It's like I said, every angle of this could be its own image. It's bizarre. And the length of time you spend in a place like this. Look at that, wait, there's a door painted the same color as the wall over there. There is an opening here, but it's not the way we're going to take immediately. Let's go see this. Is this the naughty closet? I mean, it looks just like storage, but can't you imagine bad kids in this play place being sent there? Banished from paradise? No way. House inside a house inside a house. Wait, do I hear the ding of an elevator? No, more like the rumble of a subway. I cannot read that.
What in the hell?
I think somebody was here before me.
Focus.
God, we are so bulky in this moment. Oh my god, the vertigo is instant. Oh! You're on the middle of it, man. No way forward but forward. No! That actually scared the crap out of me. Okay, pick yourself up. Did you do this? just like that, we establish your malevolence. Or at least that's what it seems like. Either way, you've been the one constant. You followed us so far. Actually, even across the subway. In other words, you definitely have taken an interest, that much is sure.
Can't believe that just happened. Fuck, that was loud.
Are you worried you got something's attention? I mean, something else? No shoes, please. What does this count as? I mean, it's all kind of one piece. Oh, great. Somebody else is letting their batteries run out. An office. Well, an office in a period of renovation. Look at that. We can even see the irregular coloring along the wall. That's a realistic detail that you don't often see in games. In fact, even here, you can only really see it along certain angles. Oh, interior windows, my favorite. There's that beep again. No way. Here we are. You know, this structure, even though it exists in real life, it's creepy for a number of reasons, but I've recently come to the conclusion that the worst thing about it is that it's a panopticon of the observer, where you can feel eyes from any of these windows that surround you above and below, and you can never be sure which ones have eyes. Breakfast, lunch, dinner? We have it. If that were true, I wouldn't be nearly as angry at you. Oh wait, we should try to look in some of these at ground level. There's nothing much in them. In fact, there's not even a door beyond them. Well, some of them have them, but the view inside raises even more questions. You know, I'm not quite sure when the hotel that this is based off of was built. Did it exist in 1988 in that form? I mean, if it did, if it's much older than the image, that's crazy to me. The idea that a structure can just be out there for a long time before it finds the audience that appreciates it. I mean, just think of how many people are out there, how many places are out there that don't know about the thing they're going to be famous for yet. Oddly enough, the room of doors seems to be a surprisingly common thing in urban exploration. I mean, just about everywhere I've been has had one room where they took off all the interior doors and just piled them up. I guess the understanding was that they would be moved eventually, and they just never were. could hear a dinging sound on the left. I don't know if it was an elevator or if it's something else. Choose the right path. Rooms 203 through 205 or the restrooms. Hey, it says quiet, please. That means change the batteries in your frickin' smoke detectors. By the way, that's a message to all of you at home. Change the batteries in your smoke detectors. Or at least test them. Mold on the wall towards 203 and 205. We made many decisions like it, but this one feels so much more weighty. These don't look like restrooms. But those do. We've got yet another choice to make. I suppose I'll respect social norms. No. Okay, let's not respect social norms. Well, isn't that just the worst? Yeah, no wonder they take so long in here. They're exploring the back rooms. Oh, I see. This is so you can keep each other company. Make it a group thing. I mean, I always enjoy it when I'm having a rough day and I'm on the toilet in a public place, and suddenly my bathroom buddy comes squeezing through the pipes. I don't know what I'm talking about. It is very early in the morning. 1:30. Just taking a moment to check the time. What is this indeed?
Whoa. Whoa. What?
It's like a full sensory deprivation chamber. Was my light on or what? It was. Huh. I lost the door immediately. Alright, run towards the light. It can't be. This is the room we were in before. This is where...
Oh, please tell me I'm back.
This is where we were lost from.
Please. Hello? Does anyone copy? Does anyone copy? Hello? Fuck.
I wondered, did they dispatch a rescue team?
Oh my god. It's here. How? How is this?
It's like it never left. And remember, nobody else has seen this footage. We haven't even seen this footage yet. At this point, we have to be doubting our sanity, whether we really were here and didn't find it, or if we just had, like, an episode of freak out while we were here. I guess we're not taking it back with us, though. Let's go. Imagine the relief that must be pouring through you right now. Just through here, and just on the left should be the crawlway. You guys better not have left me. They left me. They better not have come for me either. The best place they could have been is right there at that console. The second best place is back at base. Imagine the feeling, actually making it back here against all odds. Really being delivered back here. Maybe that thing finally got tired of me. And then finding out that everyone else is now lost. Stand up. You crawled even a little further than you needed to.
Okay. Just follow the tape. Follow the tape.
No messing with the console, huh? We're not even gonna try to bring the drone back? Alright, we've got this. But things are never this easy. What an ending. What an emotional high when the entire goal of the game has just been to get back to where we were in the intro. Like I said, things are never this easy. I don't trust this one bit. And I keep looking back, waiting to see a tall silhouette around a corner. How can you not run in a moment like this? Once again, I'm sorry, audience. I know I'm putting you through a tumble dryer. Should just be around a couple more corners. I recognize this. I recognize all of this. I'd forgotten I actually can run out of breath. I've only sprinted long enough to do that a couple of times. I just realized something. I don't hear those chirping noises anymore.
My God, I'm actually back. Yes.
The gate is still there, but I don't see any shimmer. In fact, there are no lights at all.
Hello? Guys?
I can't imagine that's a good sign.
Is there anyone here? Where is everyone?
Are we really meant to just make our way out of the building? I can't sprint anymore. Not even anything on the projector. I don't think we would have left that way. Look at that, the signs are overlapping.
It's locked. Hello?
Our company logo now a part of this. A giant bay window, and not a single light in the distance. First clue was that there was no real gate to pass through. Physically it was there, but the shimmer, not present.
Exit. Yes.
I don't think this is an exit.
What is that? What the fuck? I'm not out. This is my home.
Oh, look at that. You did the main voice yourself. So that was the Complex Expedition, and once again, that was really cool. It was one of my favorite takes on the Backrooms, same as before, and I really liked having that voice with us to emphasize the strangeness. It wasn't overbearing, but it was just pleasant enough to get that human element to where, well, we didn't just feel like a drone exploring the Backrooms. This is so cool. And one of my favorite things this developer has ever done is the idea that just as easily as things can slip into the Backrooms, they can slip back out. It's just that there's no guarantee it won't be at 10,000 feet, and this time, well, we have no idea just where the man himself ended up. But we know where the camera ended up, and we know how, even in spite of the wishes of the Magwave Corporation, it may have gotten into the hands of someone who knows how many years or months later. Also, I should probably mention that some of you have told me that there are 2 potential endings for this. I'm not sure what would actually influence that. I mean, there are definitely different paths that I didn't see. One thing that I really enjoyed about this update was the exploration itself, which is probably the biggest thing. Because I definitely probably missed things. There were some wide open areas. In others, it felt more linear. But there were some real good areas in terms of the actual map design. This was a very satisfying game to look at, and it actually wasn't stingy with the use of sounds, and I was really happy with the fact that there was always something to listen to, whether it was a rumbling ambiance, or the sound of maybe voices in some distant corridor that we couldn't access, or a smoke detector going off, or a radio, or what sounds like a TV in the other room. There was a lot of that throughout the game, and it was an important layer. Some things even sounded like maybe something moving around in here with us. It felt like a very active Backrooms. It felt very alive, without necessarily having a whole lot of motion. It says a lot about the design, I think, that even for a game about being lost, I was never bored. Because I always felt like there was something interesting to look at or investigate, and even though I was often getting turned around, it never felt so huge that I was thinking, okay, just show me to the end. We didn't spend nearly as much time walking around in, like, the classic Backrooms, and that's okay, because, this just being a different take, it didn't feel the need to make that the default, like an interlude that it inserts between more interesting areas, and that's perfectly acceptable as a stylistic choice. One thing that I did find pretty notable about this, though, is just how many things are kind of a side grade rather than an upgrade. I understand now why this wasn't a sequel, because it is essentially a reimagining of the same basic plot as before. But some things, like, for example, the implementation of the mannequin, the doll costume, was still scary and was still fairly subtly done. But I felt like its big moment, where it sort of was implied to have maybe pushed us, even though we didn't see it, I thought it wasn't quite as impactful this time around. It was still good. And when it came to the ending, again, still good in a different way. We got to go upstairs and have that sinking, slow realization that something was really wrong here. Very well done here as well. But, in the original version, things started to break up and, we saw cracks forming everywhere, which might have actually fit pretty well with the so-called earthquake from the beginning here. I liked the original better at first, and now the more I think about it, the more I think the way it was done here might be a little bit more subtle. I'm not sure which I like better, and that's why I say that it's kind of a side grade in some ways. It's for that reason that I'm going to mirror the sentiment that I've seen a lot of people say on the Steam forums, and that's that I do think it would probably be pretty good for how different it is to have an option to allow players to play the Legacy version. Because it is essentially a remake of itself, and by the way, if you want to see what the original was like, you can go ahead and look at that video at the link in the description. I previously covered that a couple years ago when it came out. I've just got to say, though, that this is a super talented dev who really seems to understand what makes the Backrooms scary and interesting. Once again, I love how it takes the scientific component to give you that sense of safety even while already knowing sorta what this is in the beginning. And actually, it's only now that I think about it that I realize why it helps so much that we're playing as a scientist. Because we, as the player, already know what the Backrooms are. You can't insert us as a totally unaware character and have us engage with that as if we don't know what's going on here. So it's framed things up in such a way where we already know what this is, we sort of have an idea of what to expect, and still have room to be taken totally off guard by how little we know. And at the same time, it emphasizes the human element to show that you are not just a camera, you are not just a faceless player wandering these empty halls, you are a person who is scared of the uncertainty of it all. And at the same time, one who is prone to have some sense of wonder about it, but that is temporarily muted by the terror. the only thing I have to wonder now is just what did happen to us at the end there. And I'm not just talking about what happened when we went through the doorway. I'm talking about when we made it back. Like, these two scenarios are very different scenarios. The first scenario is that either with or without intention, it recreated backwards what we had introduced to the Backrooms, that gate in between worlds. It was able to somehow see beyond that and generate something that mimics the building we came from. And when I say intention, I mean, did it cruelly insert us back there just to mess with us? The other possibility is that maybe that magnetism failed, maybe something went wrong in that quake that actually allowed the Backrooms to reach out into our world. That fissure in the sky may actually hint towards the latter, but I don't know. This was a really, really cool update, and I'm so glad I finally got to play it. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.